Yeah, and so
All right, Carol, can you get in now?
Marie's going to keep trying, but I'm not optimistic.
Okay, Carol.
Can she join us by phone, Bill?
I don't know what she's doing.
I don't see you over here, Carol.
Carol, Maria, Russ, and T. Lit are attendees, but I don't see them.
Carol, can you see us? All right,
Okay.
Carol's in the audience
Very
evidently.
good. Okay,
Okay.
Marie can hear everybody. She can't see anybody, but she
Okay.
can listen. So
Hi, Marie.
so we can start.
Carol, you're gonna
Okay,
have to
yeah.
mute this. Okay, all right, got it.
Okay.
Carol's out
All
there
right.
in the audience somewhere. so.
All right, it is 8:39. We will officially start the meeting. I don't have to read the new pursuant to, et cetera. So, I mean, the first agenda item is to review and approve the minutes of the July meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve the meeting? Those minutes?
There's one typo that I found.
Okay, and what would you like me to do about that, Mike?
Just change one word
Oh, okay, in the minutes.
in the minutes.
All right.
Under the Dull Men's Club, of course,
Yeah,
it says when on a schooner trip. I think the word is went, W-E-N-T.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably autofill.
okay.
Also, Doug, the golf tournament is on September 20th, not the 22nd.
Oh, okay. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve
Accept
the
as
corrected
amended.
minutes? Pardon?
I move to accept as amended.
Okay. A second?
Second.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
You have to take a roll call vote.
Hey, Carol says aye.
Carol says aye. Mary Ann?
I was not there, so I can't vote.
There you go.
Yeah, you're voting today. You're voting at on the minutes.
Oh. Aye.
Brent?
Aye.
Bill?
Oh,
Aye.
Sandy?
Aye.
Okay. All right.
Brent,
Opposed? No, okay, minutes are approved. All right, so Pam, we'll get right into the programs. I mean, I know there's, has it been difficult now? I mean, everybody supposed to be wearing masks, right, in the office?
In the, if they're
That's
not,
it.
yeah, I mean, if staff, other than staff in their offices, everybody's supposed to be wearing masks in public places. So that doesn't seem to be an issue. People seem to be cooperating. I don't think that's that hasn't been a
Okay.
problem, except for people forgetting or this or that. But other than that, it's been going, that's fine. The classes are all full, except for Qigong, which is new on site, but I think that has five or six people signed up for it. And it's new, so, but I guess all the people, like I said, not everybody's been showing up, but the sign up was good. So we are back up and running in person, not off site anymore.
Mhm.
So which is good. So the other programs, it's still going to be a bumpy road coming up, depending on the weather outside on some of these programs or things like that. But we've got the next thing coming up is Colonial Gardens Luncheon, which is next week. I have the funding for some things because we're not doing the bus trips. So I still have some funding available. Instead of doing that, putting in some different things. So one of them is going to be to go back to the monthly lunches over at Colonial Gardens, which we did all last winter, which I think is a good thing. Have some things going on over there during the winter months when it's lousy and people can't get out. So that's going to be a kind of a monthly thing, or at least every other month. Don't forget the golf tournament is on the 20th. We don't need a ton of volunteers. They consolidated how many people we needed on which holes. So there's only one hole we're putting everybody on, and I've got enough people to cover those things. They don't expect a huge turnout, unfortunately. They're hopeful. Everything comes in at the last minute, so it's hard to tell exactly where they're going to land. But this is going to be the last year of the tournament. It's 30 years is extraordinary, and I think Joan and company has done an incredible job to keep it going that long. So it's moving along.
Yeah,
Bridge was added to the calendar. That's going well. What else is coming up? The recreational and medicinal marijuana talk is coming up on the 20th. So that, I'm sure that's going to go fine. We have a decent sign up on that. What else? There's a movie coming up on the 29th, and there's the, I'm sure Sandy can tell us, is the luncheon for the walkers. The other thing I've been trying to do, since we can't do the big parties and events, is do some little events for the groups. So we did a little event for Mahjong last week. That went really well. They were kind of like a mini party of their own. So they were really happy with that. And the one for the walkers is coming up. Trailblazers did their birthday party. So we're kind of touching base with all those groups kind of in that way, in addition to them coming up and playing. So that stuff that's this month. What else? On the 4th, we have the Reiki and reflexology. This is October. Tina Bemis is on the 5th. There is a flu clinic on the 13th of October. They're doing that. I've been working with Taylor downstairs. They're doing it differently. Before, we used to just post a date and everybody showed up. Now they're doing it by appointment, kind of how they did the COVID shots. So we put that information out. I'm actually curious with you guys. You should have gotten an insert in your newsletter that told you how to sign up for it. Now, I know some of you have, so some of you did your homework and followed the instructions. So I know, Sandy, I'm not shocked at who has followed the instructions. So I did too, yeah.
I followed Mary Ann's instructions. I totally missed the other.
So that's, you should be doing that. There is a link available to do that. I emailed that out to you guys. You should have gotten it. That's the easiest way for you guys to register, is through the link, which wasn't available when we sent the newsletter out. So people can fill that form and drop it off here. They can get the link and follow the link. They can come in. There's a day in the calendar that Taylor's going to be in the kitchen, and if she needs help, we'll help her, and we'll do the registrations. But it's interesting how few returns we've gotten so far. I just don't know if that's because people are not used to it, or are they just going to all show up on that day? I talked to Taylor about that. She knows it's a change. So, but if that's how they want to do it, they need to make a change at some point. So I'm not quite sure how, where we're going to land on that, because it's definitely not like 1 million people signing up yet. What else? We have bingo on the 20th, which I think is going to be super popular. Those bingo people are going to be really happy, and we've kind of beefed it up a little bit. So that'll be fun for them. The Hanover Theater, which was a bus trip and turned into, we're selling the tickets for half price, supplemented by the Friends. But I think there's only 16 of them have been purchased. So we're stopping that at 20 because we had to make a decision. So that wasn't super popular. I don't know if it was the show, or people just aren't going to go to the theater. I'm not sure what to do about that. We'll have to talk about that more in the future, whether to continue that or not. On the 26th of October, it's not on the calendar. So this is very important. You need to mark your calendar. We're going to do an impromptu Snappy Dogs truck here. So we're going to reach out to a lot of people. We'll tell all the groups here that that's going to happen. we'll reach out to the drive-through, people that have done the drive-through and let them know about that. Because those things go really well. I mean, that's something that I'm sure of. The drive-through food is super popular. So that one, we're gonna try to situate it. Hopefully, if we get a good day, then people can sit out front and enjoy that. So that's gonna be paid for by the Friends. So there's another movie on the 27th. I think the movies are gonna be real popular based on what we did in the summer. I think people are looking forward to that. People still want to get out of the house. You know, based on the ones that came to the series that we did in the summer, people don't seem to be freaked out about being in that room. We're limiting the amount of people that can be in there and putting the chairs, socially distant. So I'm hoping we get a good turnout for those things. Coming up in November, just to give you an idea, we're gonna have we haven't nailed it down yet, but Veterans Day, it will probably be a drive-through. We're actually able to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. There's a company in Marlboro. Doug has met the people that own it, and they do classes and seminars on tech devices. And we know that it doesn't work in a big group or even a small group here because everybody has a different device. But what I've done is booked, we're booking some sessions with them. We're starting with 4 one-hour sessions just to test it out. People would sign up for an hour block, bring in their own device, and they would be taught like one-on-one on that device. And we can do it on an ongoing basis. I don't know if people will want to sign up for multiple classes. I'm not sure how it's going to go. So we're just going to kind of throw it out there, see what the interest is, and kind of adjust from there. So, it's nice that we can actually do something like that, but I want it to be something that can make a difference and really, really get some people up and running or fix some of the problems that they can't get past. Mary Ann will update us on what was the autumn fair or where we're going with that one. In December, we're looking at John Horrigan. He's a historian. So this actually, Peg put a note in there. She's looking for a replacement. There's been some problems with that. So she's going to try to find somebody to do some kind of a seminar, like a history program or something. The movie for Christmas is going to be The Holiday. Tina Bemis will do a holiday arrangement. There'll be a holiday luncheon drive-through. We're still talking about that. We still have the Newport Playhouse bus trip because that is through the bus company, the side of the bus company that's doing the package tours that's still requiring proof of a COVID shot. So that's still up there. So we'll see how that goes. If that goes well, and people sign up for it and people are still interested in doing bus trips and they're still requiring that, then we will look at those options going forward. The issue with the package tours is they tend to be more expensive to do it that way. So we'll probably have to do less of them or supplement them with more money depending on what. I'm not sure how we'll handle those January, February, March, because we don't usually do major bus trips in those months because of the weather. But we will work with that bus company on the tour side, as long as they have that requirement. So to see what we can put together even during those winter months. We'll give it a shot. We usually do a Hanukkah drop-in luncheon. So we're going to try to figure out how to still do that. I mean, we get a lot of traffic in here when the classes are here and stuff. So, that always, people really seem to enjoy that. We don't promote the heck out of it because we don't want to get overrun, but usually people really enjoy it. And then that month we have another session, another 4 one-hour sessions with techie people. So we've got a lot of stuff on there. If you guys have any suggestions, let us know. I think Peg put together a really good balance of everything for kind of the different age groups and interest groups. So that's where that is. Doug, if you want me to just continue, I've got a couple of things that I can update you
Well,
on.
just real quickly, I would say try Jed Waters for a history thing. I know he's done a couple of recent programs for folks.
I'll
and
tell Peg.
He'd love to do it. And I will just say, my own opinion is, I wouldn't go to the theater. I think that theater, I mean, you just get packed in there. You know, the seats are close together. There's so many people coming in and out at the same time. And you don't know if everybody has to be masked in Worcester there, if they will. I think that's dicey. I think doing stuff at the senior center where people know what to expect is one thing, but sending them out into a big crowd like the theater, I just think it's too early to start doing things like that. I mean, you've already done this, but I mean, to continue to think about it until we get a better handle on the variant and we don't have 2,000 cases a day.
I think a
in
lot of these
Massachusetts.
things in my head, I think Peg and I are kind of like, okay, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing until and relook at everything in February, like where January, February, that's
Yeah.
kind of where we are, I don't see things changing a whole heck of a lot between now and,
Right.
the first of the year. So kind of do status quo from where we are, and that didn't go great as far as what the interest level was. So yeah, not continue to do that. Relook at it for after the first of the year again, see where we're at. I'm hoping that those bus trips can come back, even if it's in that different form and if it's more money. But there was an interest in that over the summer, a big interest. So I don't know if that interest has shifted too. From when people signed up in July to now. We'll play it by ear and look at it when December comes and see where we're at.
Pam, do you know if the Hanover Theater requires vaccination for entrance?
I thought they did.
I thought
Yeah, hold on a minute. I'm gonna
That
mute
could be
myself.
something that would make people more comfortable about signing up for it.
I think I knew the answer, but I can't remember. So I'm gonna put myself on mute and yell for a
Okay.
second. Give me 1 second.
That may have changed also after yesterday's speech by the president.
Right.
Well, I think they do, because a lot of theaters now are coming together. You have to be vaccinated, you have to be masked. So that's
Right.
happening with some
Okay.
theaters.
Yeah, I can't remember. Carol's gonna go ask Peg. Do you know if Hanover is requiring proof of vaccination? Yes, they are, Peg said.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
So that's that answer to that one.
Thank you.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Everything's gone back and forth.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so that that may change some people's minds. It was just such a low turnout on that
Yeah.
I'm not sure we should, unless there's something spectacular. I know the Friends are willing to pick up 50% of that cost of those tickets. So if you guys take a look at the ticket prices or the shows that are coming up, we can consider that too. Again, it's a pretty easy thing to pull off. So if you see something that you think could be a huge draw and they are requiring that, maybe there'll be more of an interest. I'm not sure how much of it was the show versus, the show choice versus the theater. So definitely.
I think also driving to downtown Worcester, I think that a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yep.
Driving and parking down there. So
And maybe there is only 20 people that might be interested. That's another thing we can debate that too. Do you want, should we still go ahead and do it for 20 people or, so that's another option. So I think right now we've got everything kind of laid out through December or pretty close to it. So unless there's something really spectacular out there, we're going to kind of stay status quo and relook at everything for the first of the year on what direction we're going to go in. Hopefully things will be better and not worse, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Dead of winter does not usually bring wonderful things with this. So we'll see. We may be back to doing more drive-throughs and I don't know. I'm hoping people can still get out. I'm hoping it's better than last year. Let's put it that way. We'll go from there. That was kind of it for the program agenda. Just so you guys please sign up for your flu shots. That
Okay.
was, I've got a couple other things whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pam,
So
one other
unless
thing,
somebody has
on the
any
flu
questions.
shots, those are the super flu shots, right? The heavy duty ones?
She did not discuss that with me. I don't know if she didn't discuss 2 versions at all. I've not heard one bit of
I
that.
thought there was one specifically for seniors.
That was not discussed. I haven't heard that. I mean, we were not talking about that. We were just talking about registration, but none of that was mentioned to me. And we've talked a number of times, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. They have done that in the past, Mike, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that she would, since most of the people coming in would be seniors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this is
But
a senior.
It's
flu
good
clinic.
to know, because everybody should be getting the super
I
shot.
can email that back out and I can answer that.
Okay.
I'll talk to her and answer that question. I don't
Okay.
know. Good question. What's coming up? Okay, so the other thing that I'm doing is I've got Sandy, Helene, Subhaus, so working with me on, is that everybody? Working on trying to update our database, which is, it's a process. It's going to take a while. Basically, they're going through and you have to print out the names that are in there and figure out how to chase down the pieces that we're missing. So that's going to involve a good sized mailing. So I'm using formula grant money to pay for, the printing and the envelopes and the stamps. And so it's going to be a big mailing requesting some information from everybody we have an address from. So that's in process. But even that's going to take a while to get that up and running and the mailing ready. Just so Sandy knows, I'm just waiting on the check for the stamps. Hopefully by then we'll have everything and we can
Okay.
put that together, get it out the door. When they get those returns, they'll update the list and we'll reprint the list and then they'll go after the holes that we still have in the list. And then all of that new information will be entered into our system, including email addresses and updated phone numbers. And hopefully at the end of the rainbow, we have a cleaned up system that we can use for like emails and things like that, group emails, which would be great, or that reverse kind of phone call kind of
Mhm.
situation. We can
Mhm.
see if we want to use that system, but that's as good as it's going to get as far as accurate information. So I appreciate the help on that. Otherwise, we'd never get there. So
I think that's a really important project to do. I mean,
it
it's
is.
just going to get more complicated every year if you don't do it.
Yeah, it
So,
was just going to get worse, not better. So,
yeah.
um,
Do we have a way, and I don't know if this is a question just for you or Mary Ann, but to track who a member is, who's submitted their money and who hasn't?
Yep.
And sort of, are we doing a follow-up to people that don't, that contributed their $15 or so last year, but for some reason forgot or just didn't do it this year?
No, we can probably get that information out of the system, but I don't think the Friends haven't really done that.
And one thing I noticed though, in the newsletter, you never have a date on that when your membership should be renewed. And I
Right.
don't remember if it's January 1st, September, whatever. So it always appears in the newsletter, but it doesn't say your membership starts January 1st to December 1st. And if you do it anywhere in between, it still starts January 1st. Is that correct?
Yeah, it goes January, and that we kind of do like a forgiveness for like October, November, December kind of thing, because so you're not paying for just 3 months kind of thing. But yeah, that is.
Maybe you should put on there like memberships, run January 1st to December 31st. So
Yeah.
that everybody then is clear when
Yeah.
their membership is due.
Sure, we
Yeah.
can do that. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and then in
get
December
confused.
1, put a big reminder.
Yeah, we
Into
usually do, but
folks.
that's a good reminder.
Yeah,
It's a good
'Cause I don't
idea.
remember when I sent my check in, did I do it 6 months ago or what? So I think everybody else in the same boat. And without having the golf tournament, all these other things will really add up. We should be tracking people down more for these too.
Yeah, the other thing is,
It's gonna be good.
Marion, we can talk to the Friends group about doing, and Sandy is on that group too.
Yeah.
Is to, maybe that might be a discussion of doing a mailing or something like that, about the memberships or something to that list of people or to everybody. Where we want to go with that, try to, I'm curious myself, now that you mentioned it, how many people have paid. I mean, it feels like a lot of people pay because a lot of people come in here and ask, but I don't really know the numbers.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so we can take a look at that.
I don't know if there could be a column on that database that would indicate when people have paid.
I don't know how we can pull it. My guess is I don't know how to pull it or where exactly it comes from, but we can probably click on something, and I don't know if it's going to give us our dates, like the dates where people paid, or if it's just going to be you put in a range and it tells us how many people paid in that range, and then you can print out the list. The system lets you manipulate a lot of different ways, so we're just going to have to look at that. That's one piece I haven't pulled, so I'm not sure how I can pull it, but we can definitely look into it. If you have time, Sandy, at some point, we can fool around with it, and that might be a good way to show you some of these things.
Okay.
Kind of how to get through some of the statistics. It just might make you more familiar with the system, if you have time at some point.
Okay.
All right, so thank you. So that was definitely on the list, cleaning up that. So that was one thing. I'm happy that's rolling and we've got it organized. The other kind of a little overwhelming piece was to make sure that the Shine registration for open enrollment was straightened out. So kind of that was on my work with Jason list, and I worked on that like every month and talked to Jason, and we got one we needed to go on time. So what we have is a separate phone line for Shine. And so what basically happens, I was trying to bypass the front desk altogether if we could, but we really couldn't. So we've got a situation, if somebody calls for a Shine appointment, all the front desk has to do is say, oh, no problem. I'm going to transfer you to the Shine phone line. And then there's an extension just for that. There's a voicemail on there that basically says, clearly state your name and address, phone number, repeat it, and somebody will call you back. And Helene Harrington is kind of the designated tax work-off person to do that. I thought it would be easier than it is. It's Helene's job on that is pretty cumbersome. And there's a little bit of a learning curve. I have no doubt that once she does it and is up and running, it's going to get a heck of a lot easier. But just the process of working through our phone system was a huge challenge for me and her. We had to set up that new extension, and the new extension's not attached to anybody in particular's phone. So you can get to this thing through I don't know, there was just a lot of codes and things, and Jason had to figure it out, work with the phone system people, but we figured it out. And Ellen and I worked on it for a while, and now we've transitioned it over to Helene, and I think we've got that down. Problem we have too is we don't have a lot of free phones around here or free offices anymore. So, but we'll work with Helene on that to make sure, we give her some space. So what happens is she's going to come in every few days, take all of those messages, write them all down, and then one by one call all those people back. But the process of making a Shine appointment is not simple. There are some people that need an hour appointment, some that need a half. Carolyn's given her this whole list of if this, then that, and then information needs to be mailed out to people. So it's a little more complicated than meets the eye. So she's working on it. She's created an office in a box, which there was no doubt that Helene would do. She labels everything and is very detailed. So I think once she gets through it a few times, it's gonna be okay. So that was the other thing that I had been kind of challenged with the technology piece, but, so we're good with that. Trying to think of what else. The Southborough Community Fund final report for last year was turned in. We have enough money to carry us through November. Usually by then they have a check for the following year. That's usually how it works. So if they do award us that, again, that would be great. Again, I did not ask for 1 million different grants because they're so generous. We did apply for the emergency fund with Youth and Family and the food pantry, which is significant dollars, and the caregiver meal grant, which I also included a piece so Cindy and I could add at least 10 people through like September through May, like those winter months, when we could add more vulnerable seniors to that list so they get the phone call every 2 weeks. And that was something that turned out to be a real blessing last year with COVID. And it worked really well for the people that we had on the list. It was important. So historically, they've done that. I haven't heard anything from them yet. So I hope they give us funding again for that. So fingers crossed, and because that's a great program. So that's coming up. I think that's it for those things.
Any questions for Pam before we move on to the walking challenge, the gardens, etc.? All right, Sandy.
Okay, well, we have 25 people who are in the walking program right now through the end of September. October 1st, we're going to have a luncheon for them. And then we also have people who have started signing up for the winter walk. So we'll get that going. At the end of September, I'll send in the names and the total of miles walked from our group to MCOA. And hopefully we'll come back with $1,000 prize that they're that they're offering to at least one senior center
Oh,
from
good.
MCOA, and a bunch
Yeah.
of, maybe we'll even have a few successful recipients of individual walker prizes. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Great.
So if anybody
Uh,
wants to walk, let me know.
Yeah. Carol, can Carol tell us about the gardens or?
Yeah, Carol's, but you can talk through mine. I don't know where you're at. You can, I don't know. She's got her laptop over there. I don't know what's going on, but she can talk from here. She's coming around the corner.
Okay,
I'm getting close enough with what I say. Okay, well, the plaques are on the front garden. And I talked about having some sort of a reception. I still haven't sent out a notice, got to get that
Okay,
out.
let me know.
But I thought it would be some kind of a short notice because it's going to be weather dependent. So that's email the people involved a few days before and say, if you can make it, fine.
Easy to pull up. Just let me know.
Right, that sort of thing. This is where you're going to hit me. The garden name, the garden name on the agenda. I didn't notice when we were talking about the agenda, but it is nature's. The apostrophe is nature apostrophe S. So not the apostrophe goes before the S, and there is no S on present. So if we can just correct it in this month's minutes, that should do. All right. So it's
Okay.
nature's present, as in the present belonging to nature. One nature.
okay,
That's easy.
Okay, that's easy. That's all I have for the garden.
I didn't want to hit you
Okay.
with that one.
Well, I didn't get to that when we were
I
correcting.
didn't know what else she was gonna say.
I think Joyce said they'll be taking, the stand-up beds they'll be working on when she comes back next week, so. All right,
Those are really-
Trailblazers.
Both the
How did
gardens
the-
look so good.
Pardon?
People have been picking things out there, so I think that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they look great when I mean, I go by, you go by or I drive by out back and, you forget, sometimes when you take a good look, with the Adirondack chairs back there and the garden's kind of overflowing at times. And I don't know, it's a really neat look when somebody's walking up to the back door, or
Yeah,
if they're standing out front, or if you really take a look at that garden when you drive, it's a beautiful, I mean, it makes the front of the building look beautiful. So, Carol's coming back around.
My plan for the garden, I know Bill has commented on the fact that you can't see the sign because the centers are so high and it covers the plaque that we put on the sign. So I do have a plan to remove the centers, and I don't know where I'm going to put them, but maybe remove them altogether. And there are some Amsonias on the front, this side, right, that I will put in front of the sign. They're much lower. So in the fall, when things are finished blooming, I'll do some rearranging so that you'll be able to see the plaque on the sign at least.
okay,
The name plaque, that is. So a little bit of rearranging now that the plants have matured and they're a little bit overgrown, maybe some rearranging just for aesthetic value. So that's all.
So what, as they say, stop and smell the roses, like
yeah,
stop in once in a while and take a look. The front
Yeah.
garden from the front or the back, and this garden when you're driving by or walking up. Pretty cool.
okay. Mary Ann, on the Trailblazers, how was the voting this year? Was it as busy as last year or busier? Or?
We did have our complement of 8. We can take 8 at a time. And we did have it every single week. There was one week where it was a little misty, but we still held it. And we just held it for the month of July and August. So
Okay.
that was the only reason. We didn't start in June like we normally do. But that was pretty successful. Yeah, people came out to that. We held our birthday party, our 5th and 6th birthday party on September 1st. It was well attended. We had 33 people. It was great. We had such a good time. The meals were, Sandy ordered the meals from Willie's and they came and they were wonderful. And we had a birthday cake and it was just an incredible time. We had a good time there. We just finished a walk at the Waseca Wildlife Sanctuary in Hopkinton. That was held this Wednesday. And we had Joy Marzoff from the Joys of Nature. She's done a number of programs via Zoom. She led that walk and she is just an incredible person when it comes to nature and wildlife. Everybody, I think, had a great time. There were 23 people on that trip. We had nothing scheduled for the rest of September due to a trip that was canceled. We were going to do the ocean walk, in Newport, the cliff walk, and we canceled because of the bus. We're not taking a bus. So now we are up into October. We're going to do the beginning of the month, the Winchton Rail Trail. That's going to be a walk. I guess people can bike if they want to. Going to Forest Park on the 13th, and then some Bay Circuit Trail hikes and orienteering in November. Bill's going to lead that over at Knobscott. And we're going to take a trip out to Sterling on the trail out there, the Central Mass Rail Trail in Sterling. That's going to be November. So we're kind of planning mostly, our hikes, or trails, things like that. So it's going well.
Sounds good. Bill,
Yes,
Dull Men meeting again this morning.
we're meeting this morning in about 45 minutes. Upcoming next week, we're going to have sort of a book fair. Jeff Sheeby's kind of prompted us to do this, and he's got a whole collection of books. He's going to bring a lot of books for giveaway or whatever. And so we're going to open it up to any of the members that have books that want to either give them away, sell them, trade them, or whatever. But we'll just have tables full of books, and we'll do whatever comes natural as far as taking care of books and looking at books and reading books.
I'll bring my
When
fair
will
share.
that be, Bill?
Pardon?
When will you have the book fair?
It's next Friday.
Oh, next Friday. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
It's strictly for members. I guess you're trying to find out if Hal's going to come. Tell him
Okay.
about it. Tell him about it. I think he's not coming today, but we're having the book fair. The following week, we're going to Grafton to the Willard Clark Museum, which one of the guys suggested, and it's a good idea. They have a huge collection of Willard clocks, a lot of them grandfather clocks. So we'll go there. Then following that, we're going to go over to the post office pub for lunch, courtesy of the Friends. So that's coming up. And we're also considering, and probably will do, a Zoom meeting once a month. We did it through the winter when we had no options. And there were several advantages to having Zoom meetings. Members who were out of state, out of town, could join us. Also, people who couldn't get out could join us. So it seems like it's a good thing, even on a good day, to have a Zoom meeting. So we're going to consider having once a month a Zoom meeting, whether the weather or COVID dictates it. But it just seems though more pros than cons of having a Zoom meeting. So that's what we're going to do. That's all I have, unless somebody has some questions about what we're up to.
I think it's a good idea. It's been getting pretty good turnouts.
Yeah, we had
In person.
excellent turnouts. For a
Yeah.
Zoom meeting, we had as many members show up as we did in person. So it was a success, surprisingly.
Very
That's it.
good. The Friends report then, Mary Ann? Anything in, you said the signups were going slow on the golf tournament. I feel very bad. I can't make it. We're doing our first in-person memory cafe in a while at the Lost Shoe in Marlboro at noontime that day. So I'm sponsoring half of it, so I can't sort of beg out for that. But
No, that's fine. As Pam mentioned, I think the enrollment is down a little bit, and so they really don't know how it's going to go. We've seen a decline in participants over the past years. The discussion has been, how do you encourage golfers to come to this? And it's hard because if you look in the newspaper, there are a number of golf tournaments, charity golf tournaments that happen at the same time. And so that's what I think is very difficult. You're up against those. So anyway, but Joan is very good. And I know whatever happens, she has done a marvelous job and just works very hard at it. So, whatever it is, as far as the autumn fair, we are having a luncheon on the 21st of September. And I've talked with Pam and I've talked with Bob Myers, who is the president of the Friends. And we've all kind of come to the conclusion that we probably will not hold the fair this year. And again, the reasons are because of the closeness of bringing people in. Even if we bake the pies, and we always had the bake sale table, which is a big part of it too, now you're asking people that we don't know, what their circumstances are. And even though you can't really maybe transmit it through food, you never know, we just don't, people I don't think might feel comfortable coming in and buying pies and things like that. So this luncheon, I think is real important as kind of a recognition of the volunteers that have volunteered the past years. And so we just want to recognize the people. And they're probably about, right now we have, I think, 10 or 12 that are signed up, but there are probably about 20 people who volunteer every year to work on this fair. And I think we just want to recognize them with a little luncheon and just explain to them maybe why we're not doing it this year.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be helpful? Is there some way to, I don't want to say replace the golf tournament, but certainly is there something else that you think we could do instead of the golf tournament for the Friends? I mean, have you been talking about that, or?
I think that's what a discussion is going to be with both maybe the Friends and the Autumn Fair. I mean, I think we have to look at if they've run their course, if,
Right.
people are so interested in doing that. Of course, the raffles for the Autumn Fair bring in the most amount of money. So, do we just do a raffle fair? Do we just, but I think that's going to be a big discussion with the Friends because even though right now the Friends are in a good situation, remember, if we lose our fundraising and we continue to pay out for certain things, that whole treasury is going to go down. So,
Right.
So we have to be careful about saying, let's spend it, because, we don't have the fundraising that we, if these fundraisers go away. So, so we're going to have to review that. And then, like you said, maybe think about something that we might want to do as far as fundraising.
Okay. Yeah, if we can help you, I mean, we plan some time on the agenda even to sort of brainstorm.
Okay.
The times that I attended the golf tournament, it's more than just fundraising. There's a lot of people that like to go every year. It's an annual event, people that you don't normally see at the senior center go and support it. So it'd be nice to try to find some, see if there's anything similar to that we can sort of start a new tradition.
Yeah.
That's good for bringing people in, making them aware of what's going on, and raising money at the same time.
Sure. Yep. Sounds good.
I don't have a lot to report on Bay Path, to tell you the truth right now. It's summer is, I mean, everything's sort of pretty normal there. They've been really, really very busy. They've gotten some extra money in from the federal government, that we're the biggest issue is still trying to hire caregivers for our contract folks, and extra money has gone to increasing salaries for those folks. Hopefully bring more in, but it's still an issue around the state, not just for Bay Path. Carol, anything on the legislative front?
Well, nothing really new, but I guess just an update on the laws, rules, and regulations. I'm still working on getting a print. However, the date on the web post has changed to August 30th. So I don't know if the document or parts of the document have changed. I haven't gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, but that also kind of raises the question of whether it's worth printing, because it's kind of big.
Yeah.
And if it changes, so I want to kind of throw it out there for suggestions on how to make this accessible. But given the fact that it is subject to changes and keeping up with it. So I don't know, I'm not really sure how to handle that, quite honestly.
Yeah, okay.
That's about all. I don't imagine that it's changed significantly, but it would take going through the old version and the new version. And I'm not even sure the old version is still accessible
Right.
to know what's updated. So that's all I have.
Okay. Any other business?
Are you going to vote on Jeff Sheeby at this time under the other business?
Yeah, I think we can under that. I wish he was here. I'd like to get a confirmation that he does want to join the board.
I can vouch for the fact that he definitely wants to join the
Okay.
board. He's down the Cape today, so I don't know whether that had an impact on him not making the meeting or what, but he
Okay.
definitely wants to be on the board.
So I'm going to make a motion to, vote to have Jeff Sheeby join the board, as a normal active member of the board. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. Mary Ann?
Yes.
In favor? Aye. Sandy?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Brent?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Any discussion? Anybody have any questions?
I think we need to verify that he's put his application into the town clerk's office.
Okay.
I think he has, but we ought to just verify that.
Okay. Any opposed? So the motion has been approved pending the verification of his application being submitted. All right, good. Thank you. Well, I think that's it. It's 9:26. This is a record. So it's good. I can make the adult men's club on time.
Good. We'll
So-
save your seat. We'll save your seat.
And a
Thank you.
donut.
Save me a donut. The next one is early. It's October 1st. So it's coming up quicker than normal, but we will see you all then.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Doug. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
bye-bye.
I don't know, it depends on the time.